What's up, y'all? Welcome. I forgot to drop this in my intro though, but the reason why I say welcome is not because I'm a hospitable person. I'm really not a nice person. I'm not even gonna lie to you about it. But I say welcome because I'm inviting you to be yourself, to be who you truly are. No, when you come on my channel, you don't have to act like nothing. You don't have to front. You don't have to do none of that weird stuff. You don't have to play no role. You don't have to fake. I actually don't like that. I wouldn't recommend it. I recommend you be yourself. All right. Now we're gonna get into the first video on this channel, and what I'm gonna be talking about is shame. Because there's things in this life, right, where you don't address things properly, meaning that people think there's a lot of gray areas and people want to sit on a fence in this life and say one thing is not that and one thing is not that. But that's not true. Shame isn't always a bad thing. Shame can offer you a sense of direction. So you should feel shameful about something that you've done in your past. Should you be so shameful that you don't have any confidence and that you can't move on? No, you shouldn't, because that's you not forgiving yourself. But we live in a shameless generation. But shame, real shame, the right kind of shame, it comes from a sense of conviction. It comes from you acknowledging that you've done something wrong and something happened. Now, there's nothing wrong with being ashamed of something. There ain't nothing wrong with that. That means you acknowledge that you've done something. Because we live in a shameless generation, we have a group of people. I ain't gonna say a group of people. We have a lot of people in this generation. Despite what a person may do, there's always somebody there to say, "Oh, it's not your fault," or "It was this and that," and all this. Look at here. I understand that people want to comfort other people, but you can't just sit up in people's face and lie like that and give them a false sense of security. You can't remove accountability from a person because that's enabling them. So you can't help people by also enabling them. People need to be accountable. We need to be accountable. We need to have some sort of shame in this life. And that's okay, because then at least you acknowledge that you've done something wrong. Now, depending on what happened and how things went, it may not be your fault. But to be self-aware of yourself is to have some shame. You don't want to really live in shame too long. Now, there are seasons to life. There are seasons to life. You go through things for a time. And sometimes you go through a season and it's just not good for you. That's just how it is. It's really just how it is. But don't sit up and think that because you're ashamed of something, that automatically means that something else is wrong. Maybe the problem is you. There's nothing wrong with having a little bit of shame. You know what's wrong about shame is not admitting what is and what isn't your fault. Shame is a good thing, man. If something's your fault, don't look to other people to try to tell you it's not your fault. If you done what's wrong, you feel ashamed about it, okay, it's good. There ain't nothing that you doing or going through on this earth that's new. There's nothing new under the sun. There's no temptation that will befall you that hasn't befell somebody else. You get what I'm saying? I don't really have a lot to say in this video. This is only my first video, but I'm trying to tell people, like, dude, shame can have a good side to it because it could give you direction. Now, with that being said, try to sort out what kind of shame you got going on. Because the bad kind of shame is where you feel condemned, no condemnation, where you feel like you can't lift yourself up. There is nothing wrong with admitting that you're wrong. People act like it's some sort of a sin for you to live a certain way and say, look, I was doing so and so or filling the blank. I don't want to live like that. Let me go ahead and then change my way so I can do better and do what's right. People act like that's the wrong way. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do that. You ain't supposed to sit up here and throw out a million excuses to try to remove yourself, to try to remove accountability for something that you've done. You're not supposed to sit up and say, you know what? I've been doing this or I've been doing that so long, I might as well keep going. Man, that's a mentality of a defeated person. Because then you're kind of saying that, look, I can't really do nothing about this situation, so I might as well just keep heading in that direction. That's not, no. That's where the phrase better late than never comes into play. For real, it's better to change your ways somehow, some way down the line than to sit up here living a certain way and willing to go ahead and keep doing that for whoever knows how long because you've been doing it. It's better to admit wrong and try to do right than to do right and then turn from doing right and go do wrong. And shame can help you with that. Ain't nothing wrong with feeling bad. Ain't nothing wrong with feeling bad. Ain't nothing wrong with no shame. We need it every once in a minute because it humbles us. Now, with that being said, I don't think I really have much left to say on this video. Outro.